Hi there, welcome to another edition of Pitchside. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate everyone that takes their time to check out the content, retweet, share their opinions about it. I really appreciate that. And like I keep saying, let's continue pushing the product because we grow together. The more information that reaches out to people that watch Pitchside, the more they get to learn about what's happening. As the entire world knows, we now know the teams that are going to participate in the Under-17 World Cup that is going to take place in Qatar. We know that the next edition has been expanded to include 48 teams, including 10 nations from the African continent. It's very exciting for Ugandan football that for the very first time in Ugandan football history, we're going to have Uganda play at a football World Cup. The Uganda Cubs managed to actually eliminate the Gambia by 2-1 to qualify for their very first edition at the Under-17 World Cup. Coach Brian Senyondo and his boys definitely did a very fantastic job to reach this major milestone in Ugandan football. Today, Pitchside wants to break down for you the evolution of the Under-17 World Cup, where it started from and where it is today. We also want to look at some of the top players that have actually come through the Under-17 from different countries and have gone on to shake the entire world and show them how exciting this kind of tournament is. So to start with, the Under-17 World Cup started in 1985. Since it started then up to now, it's been 19 editions that have been played in different countries, including the African continent, and we've had quite a number of African countries participate in this competition. We know for sure that at least 20 nations from the African continent have participated in the Under-17 World Cup, and we also know for a fact that Nigeria and Ghana are the most successful African sides in the Under-17 World Cup. Here is why. Nigeria have won 5 titles. They are the most successful in the world actually. They've won the most titles in this competition. Ghana come in second from the continent. They've won 2 titles as well. That makes them the nations that have really represented the African continent at that football showpiece. Now, over the 19 episodes or 19 seasons that the Under-17 World Cup have been played, we've had top talents that have come through from Brazil to Argentina to Switzerland, to the African continent as well, that have really played fantastic football, gone on to play for top clubs, and gone on to win numerous championships. So I want to break down for you some of these top players and in which editions they actually emerged from. Let's start with the 2001 Under-17 World Cup. France went on to win it. In 2001, France had one of the most exciting talents that we definitely came to know about. Now, Thierry Henry, Trezeguet, Sylvain Wiltord, all those some of the players that came through for France. But let me take you to this particular edition in 2001. Now, the 2001 edition was won by France. The top scorer was Sinama Pongole, the Frenchman. Went on to score 9 goals, but competed alongside players like Carlos Tevez, Fernando Torres, Maxi Lopez, the man who played for Sampdoria and all the other teams, and also Pablo Zabaleta. This Argentina team had quite some unique faces, but France were the eventual winners. Sinama Pongole as top scorer with 9 goals. The Under-17 World Cup takes place every after 2 years. In 2003, probably one of the best ever holding and creative midfielders the world has ever seen came through to happen. 2003 edition was won by Brazil, but in that edition Cesc Fabregas was the MVP, scored 5 goals, had 2 assists, and he went on to play for Barcelona. He also went on to play for Arsenal. He now runs Como, a football club in the Italian Serie A, and I can tell you he's one of the top talents the world of football has seen in recent times. Stefan Mbia, remember him, the Cameroonian midfielder, played for Sevilla and all those clubs. He also came to be known in the 2003 Under-17 World Cup. Now, from 2003, we move on to 2005, the Under-17 World Cup episode, and in that one, we had quite some interesting talents. First of all, Carlos Vela, the Mexican forward. Remember him? Yeah, he came through with quite some good performances. He had 5 goals to his name in that season, but the MVP was Anderson De Souza. Anderson, the former Manchester United holding midfielder, or creative midfielder if you can call him that way. He was the MVP in that tournament. Let's move on to the 2007 edition of the Under-17 FIFA World Cup. We are trying to break down some of the top players that have come from this competition. In 2007, Germany was led by Toni Kroos, who was the MVP at that competition. As a matter of fact, Nigeria did come through to win this competition. But in 2007, England had quite a number of players at that competition. Victor Moses, who went on to switch his nationality and play for Nigeria, was part of the English team. Danny Welbeck was also part of that team. Spain had Bojan Kakrik. We all know that he retired due to injuries and all. You can see the exciting talents that emerged from the Under-17 World Cup in 2007. So let's move on to 2009. This competition was won by Switzerland, and there was a bit of a sad story in 2009. Why? Because one of the top footballing nations in the world, Brazil, participated in this edition but did not get out of the group stages. I think it was the first time in, 15 or 20 years that happened, but Brazil had a team. They were led by Neymar. Unfortunately, he couldn't do much as the team failed to leave the groups, and they did not go beyond that. But in the 2009 edition, Spain was led by Isco. Spain came through to finish third, and then of course the other star that was born in 2009 in the competition was Mario Götze, who of course scored for Germany as they went on to win that World Cup in 2014. So that's the 2009 edition, won by Switzerland. Neymar came out, Isco came out, Mario Götze came out. Let's move on to 2011. 2011, Mexico came through and won it, but there was history in the 2011 edition. The first nation from East Africa, Rwanda, played at the Under-17 World Cup. In 2011, Rwanda, led by people like Andrew Butera, Charles Tibingana, Emery Bayisenge, made their debut on the world stage. Of course, they only picked up a point. I think they drew with Canada, that game ending goalless, but they made history, reaching the Under-17 World Cup. That competition was won by Mexico, and England had a breed of players that we see today. Jordan Pickford was in the English team. Raheem Sterling was in that team. Netherlands had Gravenberch, the Liverpool midfielder. He was in that team. Brazil had Casemiro, who was in that team as well. So you can see that the 2011 edition also produced quite some talented players right there. Rwanda was in a group that had England, Uruguay, and Canada. And like I said, they only managed a point in the 3 games that they played. 2013, here we come. The Super Eagles of Nigeria. Nigeria came out on top in 2013. They won their 4th title at the Under-17 World Cup. The MVP of that competition was Kelechi Iheanacho, fantastic player today. We all know that he's now at Sevilla in Spain. But also, the competition gave birth to Kessie, the Ivory Coast midfielder, who helped them win the Africa Cup of Nations. He was playing for Ivory Coast in 2013. Also, Nigeria had Timothy Awonyi, the Nottingham Forest forward, in 2013. 2015, Nigeria bounced back and won the Under-17 World Cup. They defended it, and they had a much better team this time around. The MVP was Kelechi Nwakachi, but the top dog in the 2015 Under-17 World Cup was, guess who? Victor Osimhen. He scored 10 goals for Nigeria as they went on to win it. They also had Samuel Chukwueze, who currently plays for AC Milan. So they were really well stacked. And today, these are the players that we see playing for Nigeria and helping them win games. In 2017, England won their first ever under-17 World Cup, and they had quite a number of players. Brewster, who was at Liverpool, currently at Sheffield, was in that team. Jadon Sancho, currently at Chelsea, was also in that team. Emil Smith-Rowe, who is at Fulham. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who is at Nottingham Forest. The MVP of the 2017 under-17 World Cup was none other than Phil Foden, who plays for Manchester City today. So you can see the birth of some of the top England players we see currently right now. In 2019, the edition was won by Brazil, but not so many top players have come through in that edition. And then the previous edition, which is 2023, we saw Germany win it, but in that edition Morocco also played at the under-17 FIFA World Cup. So I've broken it down for you from the 2001 edition up to 2023, and now it's been expanded to 48 teams. Uganda will be the 21st nation from the African continent to play at the under-17 World Cup, but also it will be the second nation from East Africa after Rwanda in 2011 to play at this competition. Of course, the Cubs have one target: go to that stage and do the best that they can to represent Uganda to the fullest. So it's been a very exciting journey for the under-17 FIFA World Cup. It's going to be even more exciting because the Cubs are going to play in the next edition in Qatar, and Ugandans are going to stand up and support their own. Hey, keep it pitchside as always. That has been a brief breakdown of the journey of the top players on the African continent and across the world from the under-17 FIFA World Cup.